It is Tuesday, September 8th, and welcome to the SVG-TV News. I am Khalil Cato with the details. Yesterday, St. Vincent and the Grenadines confirmed one new COVID-19 case. The new case is a Vincentian national who arrived in the country on September 5th from Jamaica. In a news release issued last evening, the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said the in-flight contacts of this person are in the process of being informed of their exposure. SVG has now recorded a total of 62 COVID-19 cases, 58 of which have recovered, leaving 4 active cases in the country. Meanwhile, the NEMO news release said due to the rapidly increasing numbers of cases of COVID-19 in some CARICOM member states, the protocols for the entry of travelers into SVG was revised yesterday to place the British Virgin Islands, Suriname, Guyana, and Belize into the high-risk category. Travelers from these countries will therefore have to quarantine in a Tourism Authority Ministry of Health approved hotel for 5 days at their own cost. In the meantime, the public is reminded of the importance of ensuring that all persons arriving in SVG comply fully with the quarantine protocols in place, which authorities say are designed to protect everyone from COVID-19. The Minister of Education, Sinclair Jimmy Prince, said he visited some of the largest schools around the country yesterday and was surprised with the degree of compliance from teachers, children, and parents to the new protocols. Speaking on Star Radio last evening, Prince said he also received good feedback from some of the schools he was unable to visit.
I visited a few schools, the larger ones, of course, and well, I did one small one, and I was pleasantly surprised with the degree of compliance from teachers, from students, from parents. Some parents, in some cases, even volunteered to take the temperatures because, you know, there were some teachers who thought that it wasn't in their job description, and they weren't trained to do that, etc., etc. But that's a minority of teachers, of course. But all in all, the reports that we've had from the other schools that I didn't visit was that it was a smooth day, a very smooth day. Not necessarily seamless, but of course they were able to iron out whatever kinks there were in the system. I've been advised by most of the principals that I've spoken to that, listen, things are going smoothly. The children understand. They have settled. Teachers are on board. Parents are taking into consideration everything that they've told them. They've had PTA meetings where parents were brought up to date as to what is happening. So school has started and will continue, and I am happy about the conditions so far.
Minister Prince said that the ministry followed the advice of the health experts and has worked hard to get schools ready for reopening on Monday with minimum hiccups. He said they have provided over 100,000 masks for students and teachers, along with 1,500 thermometers and other hygiene products to ensure the safety of all.
So we have procured nearly 100,000 masks for children and teachers and workers on school compounds. We have about 1,500 thermometers, non-touch thermometers, where we will check temperatures, etc. We have sent out a list of the protocols to all schools in the country, and these protocols, of course, are there to guide educators and students alike with respect to sanitation and how we will go about the term safely. We hired more people to do sanitization and cleaning. We had daytime security. We sent out to all schools from 3 weeks ago a wide range of cleaning agents, and we also had meetings with the cleaners themselves, telling them what they need to do and how they need to go about their jobs, because we didn't think it should be business as usual.
Yes.
We thought sanitization, we know is very important. Cleanliness is one of the things that is being pushed upon us more and more because of this virus situation.
The Education Minister said they will continue to monitor and evaluate the situation and make the necessary adjustments.
Of course, as time goes on, we'll monitor, we'll evaluate, we will determine what adjustments we need to make, if any. And I assure all Vincentians, parents, teachers, and students alike, that if at any time there is any hint that there is a problem, that we are going to deal with it and deal with it very quickly, very decisively, make the adjustments or readjustments, whatever it is, we're going to do that because we understand that we're still in a very fluid situation. Anything could happen at any time. Things can change for all kinds of reasons. And if things do change, we'll have to change too. Yes. Or we have to anticipate these changes and then make adjustments. So I'm happy for the first day. Of course, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the rest of the week, of course.
And President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said while the union is happy with the efforts made by the authorities to prepare schools for reopening on Monday in this period of COVID-19, there is still much work to be done to ensure the teaching-learning environment is optimal at all schools. Robinson told SVG-TV News today that they have conducted their own assessment of schools nationwide and there are some issues of concern. Speaking on the Buchanan Bay Secondary School, Robinson said given the construction work taking place there, it was the right decision to postpone its reopening. However, after a follow-up assessment, the school is still not ready for reopening tomorrow.
That school is still not ready. We were told that the workers would stay off the job tomorrow and resume on the weekend. I think that is stupidness. You know, let the workers finish the work, do a complete job, so that you have time to do the necessary cleaning, sanitization, etc. And that the students would come back into a classroom that is, or a school that is more or less improved, or more comfortable, more conducive for learning. And our teachers would be also comfortable. There is still need for fencing at the back, especially to the river. The kitchen is not ready yet. Toilets need to be fixed. And I'm glad I heard Nemo speaking about building codes, the standards of building, but that school, it needs proper guttering.
The SVG Teachers Union president said the Lomans Leeward Anglican School is also in dire need of special attention.
We have visited the Lomans Leeward Anglican School today, and there is a very offensive stench at the back of the school. So we want the Ministry of Health to do your work, send in your people to inspect, because that stench is right behind the kitchen, and that is totally unacceptable. So when we say schools are ready, we are not really giving an honest report. Those who are reporting that schools are ready. And I do not like to seem as if I am criticizing, but I only want, the teachers union only want to see things being done because we are concerned about the safety and health of whoever would occupy the school, teachers, students, parents, even visitors. You can't have a school, today is the second day, with such an offensive smell right behind the kitchen. And it seems to me that it is coming from a septic tank. So the authorities need to check it out. Septic tank, or there's a drain at the back also, needs cleaning.
Notwithstanding the work that needs to be done to get all schools on par, Robinson said the authorities must, however, be commended for their efforts.
I want to commend the authorities for the work done on Kingston government, which you call Stony Grounds. Very good piece of work being done there. Also New Grounds and Park Hill. You know, we don't want to sound as if everything is in the negative. There has been some positive. I have seen some wash stations being inserted. I've seen also improvement in terms of security. The Union Island Secondary School, it needs proper fencing, similar to Myro, you know. And even though these may appear to be long-term, they're well overdue, because we agreed with the state since 2003 that all schools will be fenced on a phase-by-phase over a reasonable time.
The World Pediatric Project is well known for its work to save and transform the lives of children here in SVG and region-wide. However, as the global COVID-19 pandemic continues to create economic hardships as well as greatly restrict the movement of persons, the WPP has had to find unique ways to provide the necessary care to children in need. Executive Director of the World Pediatric Project for the Eastern Caribbean, Lauren McIntosh, said due to the pandemic, they had to postpone 2 missions, an orthopedic mission, which should have been conducted this week, and a urology mission in October. McIntosh said despite the challenges, the WPP continues to find new ways to provide children with the necessary care.
Yes, quite a few of our clinics have become remote clinics. So speech therapy, for example, we would have assisted over 27 children in follow-up care and having ongoing sessions with them to do speech therapy. So these are post-surgical cases, whether it's cleft lips and palates, and we would have had ongoing sessions with them. Then in terms of the orthopedic aspect of things, we would have Dr. Woods and Dr. Santiago follow up with that care. We also have the pediatricians on board. We have Dr. Data and all of the pediatricians at Milton Cage Memorial Hospital who offer quite a bit of support to us. And we've really seen everybody come forward and play their part in making sure that our children get the very best care they can, even though our teams are unable to travel at this point in time.
McIntosh said the WPP has also been able to find alternative solutions to assist children requiring surgery.
We still have children who need the critical help that they need. We actually have a 3-year-old. We were able to send a 3-year-old over to Martinique for cardiac intervention, and she's having her surgery done today. And in addition to that, we do have 2 pending US referrals. So our more complex surgeries are actually sent to the US, but in this instance, we were able to send our first child to Martinique. So we're trying to adjust to suit, and I think that is wonderful that we're able to send our first child to Martinique and for her to get the cardiac intervention that she needs there. And we're looking at other regional options that might exist, as well as the US referrals, which we're still hoping we will get off in the near future.
The WPP Executive Director took the opportunity to thank the local partners for their continued support and highlighted some of the charity work the organization has been involved with.
So our local partners, like I said, have been playing an integral role in supporting us as an organization. So I'd like to tell, the families, continue doing your clinical updates. Make sure you go to the clinic, get your child to have the regular checkups, and then that information is then shared to WPP, and we're able to provide that update to our teams in the US who follow our patients carefully and closely to see the next steps. And apart from that, we've also been able to adapt somewhat in the sense that we got a restricted donation to give care packages to our families. So we branched out slightly. Our focus is still on tertiary critical health care for children, but we were able to provide 250 care packages which contain food and hygiene items to Vincentian families over the last 3 months.
The Ministry of Agriculture said it will be further improving its Love Box initiative to cater for persons suffering from non-communicable diseases, beginning with diabetes. In a news release, the ministry said the expansion of the program will result in hundreds of thousands of dollars being spent to procure local foods, further expanding the local market, and that it is expected that there will be an expansion in other non-traditional crops to meet this new demand that will be created. It said ultimately the intention was for Vincentians to consume more local produce, truly bringing to life the Eat What You Grow, Grow What You Eat slogan. The special love boxes of fruit and vegetables targeting persons with diabetes will be distributed from Monday, September 28th. The Love Box initiative was introduced by the government to ensure that all Vincentians remain food secure during the COVID-19 pandemic. Opposition MP for West Kingstown, Daniel Cummings, has called on the authorities to release the findings of the recently conducted poverty assessment. He was speaking on the NDP's Facebook program last evening.
I said to you, Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez, in the parliament of this country you lied and you refuse to make public the information that you are ashamed of. It is damning. Tell the people what the poverty assessment report says before I, Daniel Cummings, tell the people the details of that report. I'm giving you a chance. tell the people before, now make me have to tell them myself, you know, I like it.
Cummings said that the poverty report in 2018 was at 36%, and he is sure that the rate in 2020 is substantially above this figure.
Because the information I have is that in the 2018 report, and this is before COVID, long before COVID, what you have is that the poverty is back at the same level
as in 2000,
as it was in 1998.
wow, which is
It went from 36 to 30, now it's back up to 36 in 2018. Folks, you hear what I say? Back up to 36 in 2018. Since 2018, what have we got? We have economic decline, after economic decline, added to COVID. Right. So one doesn't have to imagine what the level of poverty in St. Vincent de Grenadier is, substantially above 36%. But
The opposition MP added that from his interaction with persons, there is an increase in the level of poverty in his constituency of West Kingstown and across the country.
Even forget about the figures and the reports. I, as the representative for West Kingstown, I interact with people of West Kingstown on a daily basis. I can tell you what the level of poverty in West Kingstown is. And folks, this is in suburbs of Kingstown. Part in Kingston itself, part in the suburbs. You're talking about Rose Place, Otley Hall, Montrose, Camden Park, Maho, Lowmans, all of these areas. Poverty of an extreme level throughout the constituency.
At a recent sitting of Parliament, Cummings had asked the Minister of Finance about the poverty assessment report. However, the minister said that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the assessment had been delayed. General elections in SVG is likely to take place this year. And on SVG-TV's discussion program, The Viewpoint, on Sunday evening, some of the changes made to the representation of the People's Act since the last election were highlighted. The panel on the program included lawyers Maya Eustace, Roderick Jones, and Zita Barnwell.
It is the acronym for the Representation of the People's Act, which is quite a mouthful, so we can understand why everyone wants to say RPA. It is quite simply the piece of legislation that governs the conduct of elections from nomination and even before nomination, from election of electoral officers, their mandate, the scope of their mandate, straight into candidates, election day itself, final count, petitions. It's your one-stop shop for elections. Of course, the Constitution also has significant weight. Obviously, it is more, the RPA, deals specifically with elections, but there are certain aspects of the Constitution that will impact the efficacy of the RPA. So the RPA is our election law, quite simple.
The panelists also highlighted some of the other changes that they say are necessary in order to strengthen the electoral laws to guarantee a free and fair election.
So certainly one can understand the chaos that can result if representative of one party have one list and there's another list for the representatives of the other party. So if in fact that is something that actually happened, this is an issue that we have to strive to ensure never repeats itself.
Actually, man, I spoke about this earlier, is in terms of preserving the integrity of the process. How do you ensure that what you would have done over a longer period in terms of scrutinizing those people who are transferring, that is being done legitimately? Who checks all of that to ensure that the process, the integrity remains? And perhaps that's one of the challenges that the supervisor of election is probably talking about, as opposed, in addition to the lack of resources available to spread out to this particular area.
It isn't necessarily going to be as effective as it would be if we had fixed dates for elections. If we had fixed dates for elections, and you could say, look, as long as you're registered by April 21st of every election year, you can make it into vote, right? And then people would know and they'd be responsible for taking care of their affairs in that way. But where you have this system where this person decides, and they decide so based on political exigencies, then how are potential voters to properly prepare for it unless there's an education program that says, look, it's in your hands. Register as soon as you are eligible to register.
A former member of Parliament and Attorney General Sir Emery Winston Robertson, who passed away on Thursday, August 13th, will be laid to rest tomorrow following an official funeral. Official viewing of the body will be held at the House of Assembly from 10 a.m. to 11:55. There will also be a viewing at the Roman Catholic Cathedral from 12:30 to 12:55, where the funeral will commence at 2. This will be preceded by open tributes from 1 p.m. The interment will be at the Kingstown Cemetery. As a mark of respect, all flags throughout the state will be flown at half-mast tomorrow. The public is asked to know that the family members have requested that there be no taking of photographs of the body during the viewing periods. In police news, Rolando Cato, a 19-year-old laborer of Redemption Sharps, was arrested and charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition and with discharging a loaded firearm. The police say, according to investigations carried out, Cato allegedly had in his possession one firearm and 1 round of .38 ammunition without a license issued under the Firearms Act. He was additionally charged with unlawfully discharging a loaded firearm within 100 yards of the public road. The incidents occurred at about 9:50 on Saturday morning of September 4th at Redemption Sharps. The accused appeared before the Serious Offences Court and pleaded not guilty. He was denied bail and remanded into custody. The matter was adjourned to October 11. Meanwhile, police have arrested and charged Peter D'Souza, a 53-year-old laborer of Sion Hill, with 3 counts of theft. Investigations revealed that on 3 separate occasions, August 24th, 25th, and 28th, the accused entered Gibson's Building Supplies and allegedly stole 1 chrome kitchen lock, valued at $77.25, 3 bib tops, valued at $85.80, 1 chrome entrance lock, valued at $58.20, and 3 saw blades, valued at $84.60, a total value of $305.85. D'Souza appeared at the Serious Offences Court to answer to the charge and pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 5 months on each count. The sentences will run concurrently.